Hello, everyone, and welcome to Let's Have a Conversation podcast. We are live, so I'm going to wait a few minutes to get everybody on. I'm going to tag a few people. As you come on tonight, please announce yourself. Let me know that you're tuning in and where you're tuning in from. This is our last episode in this series of Struggle to Salvation. We're talking about struggle to salvation. Hey, Jermaine, how are you doing tonight? Before I bring in Cameron, I just want y'all to come in the chat room. Jermaine is in the waiting room waiting for me to bring him on. So, Jermaine, if you want to share this on your page and tag a few people, you can go ahead and do that. But tonight I am excited to have him on. I usually don't have people on that reach out to me, but just something about him made me want to bring him on tonight. I feel that he has a very interesting story to share with us tonight, an encouraging story of how one can struggle, go through addiction, etc., but then by the grace of God, change their life around. So I'm excited, and I hope you guys are excited as well to hear what he has to say on tonight. So I'm just going to go ahead and just bring him into the room. Just give me a moment. Here he is, everybody. Let's welcome Camron Brewster tonight to Let's Have a Conversation podcast. I don't. Is that my phone? But yes, okay. Here he is. And Cameron, if you don't mind, if you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself, just who you are, and just a little bit of snippet before we get into the conversation.
Absolutely. Well, first, I'm Camron Brewster from Parkersburg. Glad to be on here, Malik.
Glad to have you on. Yes. So we can just go ahead and just dive into it. Just go ahead and let's just hear a little bit about your beginning, and then just however you want to go into it. You can it's all about you tonight, buddy. So you just go right ahead.
All right. Start off, man. I was lost, man. I was mentally broke, physically broke. I was broke down, man, holding all these burdens, and it took me a long time to just let all of it go. Let go and give to God, and went through a bunch of mental facilities, detoxes, rehabs. But I have to give it to God first and foremost, and the AA program. But I'll skip back to my beginning, though, Malik. I grew up in the southern part of West Virginia and had a great childhood. My mother was she was there for me. My father really wasn't, though. Like I said, I grew up in Greenbrier County. I had a brother, two siblings. And then she got with a stepfather of mine, and he had his own demons, man. He was a Vietnam veteran, and um, what? Sorry about that, Malik.
You're fine.
But like I said, it was a good childhood, man. Starting out. Um, can I take a pause real fast, Malik?
Yeah, go ahead.
What? All right, all right, I'm back.
Okay.
I don't
Do I
know
need
why
to
I said that.
do I need to ask you some questions?
Yeah. I went into it too fast, man.
Okay,
Without
so
overthinking.
let's so we're talking about your childhood. So in your childhood, you said so far, you had a good childhood coming up, and then your stepfather came into the picture. Um, so I guess to further on the conversation, what kind of went on in your childhood that maybe made you go left into, going down the wrong path, or maybe not in your childhood, but later on, in life?
Well, I'd have to say when my mother first got with my stepfather,
Okay.
we had a transition from moving from Frankfort, West Virginia to Alderson, and I was good in school and everything. Like I played sports throughout. It was just the transition, really. Like I said, he had his own like demons, man, and I didn't know how to go on with that. Like I said, I went without my father for so long. And so as a kid, I was needing like, well, I felt like I was just needing some love, you know. So I came into the other household, and it was very strict, man. Like you wake up, do chores before school. Like the sporting stuff was out of his picture. He was pretty much like a mountain man. He was very outdoorsy. Um, worked on this farm like all the time. He was retired, and it was just a hard transition for me, you know. And my brother, my older siblings, they had their struggles with it too. Like they ended up moving out. They moved to my grandmother's house. Like I said, they were a few years older than me.
Mm.
So um, once they got out of the household, it was just me there. So I just felt lonely, man. Like I had people in school. Like it was very embarrassing to even bring them over because like I had a select few friends that I would bring over, and it would just, it just wasn't. It was kind of embarrassing at first, you know, and then like I said, the sporting events, I'd be going to practice. He would show up early and just be. It was always just a scene with him around, like, you know. It was
Yes.
very abusive for me, physically and mentally and verbally, you know. Um, I tried to get into the outdoor side of it, which I did. I loved hunting and fishing and all that, you know, but it was just different with him, man. Like he had a lot of PTSD he had to fight, and he took it out on me a lot. Like I would go to tell my mom, but she loved that man. He took great care of my mom though. He was never abusive to her or anything like that. And
Yeah.
I just didn't know how to transition with that. I would go to run to her. That's my mother, and she should have helped me, you know. And she would just blow it out the window. She would just be like, well, you needed some discipline." Which, don't get me wrong, I get that too. You know, what I mean, there was a few times that I maybe deserved it, you know, but nothing over to the overboard of, like more than a hand smack or something like that. It was way more, you know.
So when you say way more, was it more like physical abuse? Is that what you're?
Oh yeah, there was a special spot in the basement, and after the first few times, it was a routine. Like he would say, "Go on down there," and I would. By that time, I would know. what time it was. I'd go down there, and then just the waiting part of it would be the worst thing. You could just hear him coming, man. And it was, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty serious.
Now, from there, do you think that's what led up to you maybe trying to find an outlet to escape from what your reality was?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It made me actually rebel more towards just my mother and the household in general. That's it. By the time I got older, I would just I just want to be away from her. Now, there's a time in between me saying that of being older too. I can back up a little bit.
Okay.
So before my mother retired, she was a CNA at a nursing home. Now she did that for years, like as long as I can remember. Probably by the like, well, I mean that was pretty much her only job. Like when she went through schooling, like that's what she did through till she retired, and just being a nurse, and then it was a CNA she was at the nursing home. But that's the only job she really did. But see, she'd be working, so the weekends, that's my free time, right? Out of school, if I wasn't playing sports or anything, I would go to my grandparents' house. That was another big thing for me, man. I would just want to go to my grandfather's and grandmother's house because me and my grandfather that's who I looked up to um, throughout till 2009 till his death. That was pretty much my first breaking point of trying to escape reality with everything going on.
Yeah.
And but yeah, to answer your question, that was a big part of me, just from being shut in and all that, because that's what I felt like. I just felt like I was shut in. There was no fun. Even if I was having fun, I'd still have in the back of my head like, oh, I got to go back to this house. Like I can't. Like even with my sporting stuff, because like I said, I played sports throughout school, and I was pretty good, but still, it was I couldn't come home and be cheerful about that. Like having a kickoff run, two great kickoff runs I can think of perfectly. One that I scored, and another one it was about 50 yards. I wanted to come home and just be cheerful about that, or getting trophies, and it was just straight shut down. And like it was it was a tough time for me, you know.
So while being in the house, I mean, and you said your mom, did she know exactly the things that you were going through, with your stepdad, or was she just more so just saying, you just needed the discipline, you needed a father figure in your life, and ignoring the fact that you were going through such a tough time emotionally and physically?
Well, see, there was a few times I straight tried to tell her completely everything, and yeah, it was just shut out. And then I just didn't want to tell her no more. And then I
Yeah.
would go tell my grandfather. See, me and him, like again, me and him was so close. Like I would just tell him, and he just wanted to keep me there. Um, but yeah, she would just be like, "You just needed the discipline. You probably needed that." But I don't think like she really believed it all. Like until like with me saying being on that topic of what you just asked. See, like I said, there was a few friends that I had. See, there when I tried telling her, it went to the point where my coaches started seeing like bruises on me, right? And I left this out too. Like I said, he was a Vietnam veteran, and he was also a lifetime member of the fire department. And that was another big thing. No one would believe that. He was a Santa Claus on the Christmas times. Like no one see it was kind of the saying that I don't know if you heard it or not, but it was the street angel and a house devil. That's pretty much what it was like. You seen him out and about, like no one would believe that. He's a firefighter. He's a great man. He's the Santa Claus of the town.
Yeah.
And it was just like I was a liar, like I'm just a fib teller until it got to the point it got to the court system. And ended up going to foster care in Monroe County it wasn't that long because my grandmother went to a class and got me in with her. And that can be another turning point of the convo if you wanted to ask another question. Or if you just want me to stay on that topic, Malik.
Whatever you feel you need to
Yeah.
say. This is an open platform. You say what you need to say.
All right. Well, we'll get into this part of my life. So the abuse and stuff's going on. My friend's over. My coach has done recognizes bruises on me. I tried lying. Now my buddy ended up coming home with me, and I remember this day like it was yesterday. And it was before my grandfather passed. This was we got in an altercation, pretty much working on something. He was the type of guy that would be like, "Hey, hand me a tool," right? So I handed him the wrong tool. I was called stupid and some other names. And yeah, I got hit on. So I just my alternative at this point was I would just run off.
Yeah.
Run off for a few hours, come back home. Well, the cops got called and believe it or not, got out of it, right? It wasn't that long after this, my grandfather passed. This is probably not even a month, right? So this is the first altercation with the cops. They let it go. My grandfather passes. It mentally crushed me because that was my best friend. Tried to go to my grandparents. That's all my grandfather wanted. He even said it himself, like, just let the boy stay with me. Literally the next day he passed away. And
Wow.
literally just in that short time frame, that was out of my grandfather's mouth. Just let him stay with me. That's what he wanted. The next morning my grandfather passed and my grandmother found him. We got that call and it just a week right for the funeral arrangements. It's right after we bury him. I got into another altercation with my grandfather. Cops get called. That's when I ended up going into foster care. Legitly, you couldn't pass it up. Nothing. My grandmother went to classes, got me out of that. So, like, I literally wasn't there long at all in foster care. Like, it was a few weeks. Grandma did her classes she had to do for the state, got me in. So, I feel like this time I'm going to be home, grateful. The foster care wasn't that bad at all for me. I didn't have no, because I was always scared of that. People said some stuff about foster cares, like I'm sure you've heard it.
Yes.
It wasn't a bad time for me. The family cared for me, but I was also very grateful. I was grateful I was in a good house, but I was also extremely grateful I got that call that my grandmother got to get custody of me,
Absolutely. Yeah.
And she's a great woman, man. But I come into the household and she's always been there for me 100%. But I'm going to say that with there's a side of that though. I took that I kind of used that advantage though with her doing everything for me. And so I got the freedom I wanted, right? Like I'm getting to go out, like she's happy I'm there, I'm helping her out, but also on the weekends I don't have to worry about no one telling me like, "Hey, you can just go out." But nothing really happened until I got my first job, right?
Okay.
So I'm thinking I'm gonna become a man. I got my first job. Right. She's extremely happy for me. It's just and I like making all the money. My first job down there was at the sawmill at Rennick Millworks. It's actually a Mennonite-owned company. It's not there no more. They branched off to a bigger company in Virginia now.
Okay.
But that's one of my first substance uses started, and that was my gateway. I felt like for all the emotional stuff that I had, I could talk more. I didn't have to be shut in, man. Um, I feel like I'm bouncing around, Malik.
But no, you're fine. So with living with your grandmother, did you did you feel like a sense of? Do you think she kind of enabled you in a way, through not, having any kind of stipulations on you, or asking anything of you, or you was kind of, I don't want to say you had, yeah, you have more freedom to do what you want to do. I mean, because we all know grandmothers. I mean, they're lenient. They don't. I don't want to say they don't care, but they're not. Like as a parent would be. Checking in on you,
Yeah,
making sure you're doing this. Grandmothers, grandparents in general is more relaxed, more more. It's just more loving and more just leniency. Like you just do what you want to do without getting in trouble. I mean, that was my
yeah,
grandmother. I don't know about anybody else's, but you just do what you
yeah,
want to do. You just feel like you just got freedom. They're not overbearing. It's more of an easy ride when you're with your grandparents. So do you think living with your grandmother, was it more so of like, yeah, hey, I can finally spread my wings and do what I want to do?
yeah. I absolutely feel like that. I don't like you said. She didn't mean no harm by it. She felt like, but I took all the advantage I could of that,
Yeah,
especially um, once I got that job. She she actually ended up getting my first vehicle for me, but I had to pay everything uh, from it. Like all my insurance and all that. And yeah, it was just I got that first job, man, and I'll just go on and get into the substance side of it, because that's something I didn't know about myself, man. I had the addiction of more in me, if that makes sense, Malik. If
yeah,
it wasn't even before the substance, it was clothing, it was this and that, it was sex, you know. So I get the job though, man, and I'm a great worker. I'm building up to this the job I'm at. I actually become an operator on the saw, and there was two people that was there for a good bit of time, and my family, like my cousin and them, knew this person, and he's always working all the time, man. And I always wondered, I ended up giving him rides and stuff like that, and he was going to parties and stuff like that. Because in high school, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, to kick back to the high school days. I mean, I did uh, go to a few parties, but I didn't mess around or anything like that. Like even with the beer drinking, nothing really sparked off with that. I could have stopped. It
right.
was, but I noticed this guy was working all these hours, man, and I never knew it. It just seemed like he was just working all the time, and it got introduced to me. I remember the first time on that, he just straight told me what it was, and I was like, well, I'll you're working all these hours this week. I'll try it. I'll just stay through the night.
Okay.
And it sparked off. I did it and was working all the time. Thought I was hiding it from my grandmother. Uh, and definitely wasn't. It's just one of them things. I feel like $1,000,000, but I look like,
Yeah.
wore down.
Right. Right.
And it caught up to me fast with the vehicle and everything. I ended up, like, it just went from one thing to another. Went from the cocaine to the pills to the alcohol, and it just sparked off with me, man. I ended up wrecking that truck as an embarrassing way too. Like it was in the town of Lewisburg where I was from, and family got called out. Ended up getting a DWI. That was the first time I was actually in trouble with law enforcement, and I tried lying my way through that. I had to call my mother. She was alive at this point still, and uh, I just did the blame game. Oh, it wasn't me. It was someone else. Well, what about the pill residue and stuff? Oh, that wasn't mine. It was such and such. Thought I was lying through my teeth, and it wasn't that big of a consequence, believe it or not. It was my first time. The person was actually decent. The car that I hit, and they were just like, get him some help if he has a problem. Like the cops came straight up to me and could see it all in my nose, the residue and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just pretty much got a smack on the hand. It was like 6 months. The day report center when it started up down there in Greenbrier County. And so, see, to me, that wasn't anything trauma to me yet. Oh well, uh, I mean, I felt bad about it. I'm not gonna lie, but it was just my addiction over hiding it. It was like, well, it ain't that big of a deal. Like it's paid for. Like the trucks, grandma will take care of that. And so I was back off to the races. Not too long after that. Um,
So
still. Oh, my bad. Excuse me,
no,
Malik.
no, you're fine.
Interrupted you.
So since you felt like, since you didn't really get in a lot of trouble, um, and I know earlier you said you had the addiction of more. Did that kind of like spark something in you? Like, oh, I didn't get in trouble. They didn't really say anything to me. So you're just like, well, let me do some more damage. I don't think you was thinking that, but I was, you got off from doing, you didn't really get caught per se. So you're just like, well, hey, nothing happened. So, I got another chance to do a little more dirt. Is that what was in your mind at the time when all that happened?
Absolutely, it was. Uh,
Okay.
that's what I was meaning about my addiction, even masking it. It was just one of them masks I had on. It was like, well, I can still, like, well, you said it blatantly. I could still go do dirt, and I, as this story goes along, it was a lot more dirt that I kept. I didn't put the shovel down, if that makes sense. I just kept digging. I didn't hit no rock bottom yet. So, yeah, after that wreck, though, I still maintained work and stuff. I was doing the day report center. Uh, it was actually, like I said, that thing just opened, and I was actually doing it, man. Doing it the right way until there was there's always that will. If there's a will, there's a way kind of thing.
Yeah.
And ended up another substance. It was the Suboxone pills. They didn't have the test for them at the time. Now they do. Now they have that strip test. It just comes up burfamorphone. At the end, no, it was you couldn't be tested for the Suboxone pills. So I was like, well, someone else at work had that. So I was like, well, that's the next thing I'm gonna do. Uh, Started doing them. Still trying to work and maintain. I get through day report center the day of. It's the state fair, and I would just keep going, man. There's no consequence. I still ain't learned nothing. I'm still living at my grandmother's house. Uh, she's there was a spark of interest, like she could tell stuff was wrong with me, but I was still with the relationship with her, as in I could still lie to her, do something around the house, and then boom, it'd be washed over.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
and ended up getting in a relationship around this point, which I had a high school sweetheart too. But that was broke off during the foster care, and so I tried to do the relationship thing. Um, didn't really work out. She had substance abuse issues, and ended up just going right back to the high school sweetheart. But the girl I was with at the time was doing the drugs a different type of way. So I was like, well, I'll just start smoking them. So that relationship bends and breaks. Get back with the high school sweetheart. Uh, it was around that time. That's when another car wreck happens. I'm still partying and stuff like that. I lose my best friend due to it, and then the girl I was with, and I walked away scot-free from that, man.
Oh
And
wow.
they with me sharing this on here, I've shared my story 3 other times with AA and stuff, but a lot of people didn't know that side of it. I completely manipulated that whole story, had a buddy come through, and I had to live with that. I had to act like I wasn't even there. Just
Wow.
and I was living that lie for so long, man. Like that lie ran me ragged. For years I kept that in. And yeah, like it and it was due to substance, man. Like that you would think by that time mentally and everything, like that would have showed me, right? And it
Oh
showed
wow.
me a little bit, like it showed me, but at the same time, like I just wanted to keep masking it, you know? Like
So even after, losing the friend, losing the girlfriend, yeah, and you still like it didn't even, a wake up call like, hey, I need to I need to slow down.
yeah.
So do you think that even caused more substance abuse because you lost a friend, you lost a girlfriend, so now you've got to deal with the pain of losing, the girlfriend, the best friend, and the only exit out of life, like I said earlier, out of reality is to go to what makes you feel better in a way, and that's drugs.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like you said, that's what I just run back to it, keep masking it, keep burying everything.
Yeah.
Uh, that was the other side of me where I was lost, man. Like I had the straight tunnel vision of just, it was right after that. And I could really say that. Like I just didn't want to feel nothing. If I was sober, I would think back to that. And like I said, that lie was running me ragged. Like so bad of me wanted to, but I would have known the consequence though, like yeah, just it. And that was 2014. Believe it or not, when that happened, I called my stepfather. Like, that's crazy as that sounds. I wanted to call it because he was on the fire department. I remember that night I called him. Uh, and also at this time, I'm not in that household anymore, right?
Yeah.
So little did I know, he's working on himself. My stepfather's working on himself, getting into he finally got his benefits from the VA. Uh, he's doing his route, uh, he's heard little bits and pieces he knows that I'm dipping dabbling. Uh, he's at the point now, he's not even close to the man he was at the time that when I was a kid, so like I said, he was working on himself. So I knew, it was right after that I tried to mend my relationship back with him. I ended up losing my job at the sawmill. So he's doing little odd job stuff on the farm and stuff and handyman stuff. I get back in the picture with my stepfather, and we had first few times it was weird for me, and I can just think back now, like he did his amends, to me before he passed. He was sorry for what he done. Like he was masking his stuff, you
Yeah.
know. And part of me wanted to move back in, to be honest, because my mother at this point was starting to have the diabetes. She ended up retiring from the CNA, like I said, she did for for years. She
Yeah.
but her health started declining with the diabetes. Like, it was more of the sugar drop comas that was happening. She would go into comas all the time, just where sugar would drop. So she might be sitting on the couch, just staying in bed. Like, them sugar comas was was pretty crazy for her, man. Like, she'd be the mind of a 9-year-old. So we actually witnessed that a few times. Like, I was staying with her and stuff, and I was just like, man, like, from the time of me, my grandmother's not going by there as much, running the roads and stuff, seeing that kind of sparked it in too. Because I felt like a lot of it was, for some reason, I felt like it was my fault, because like I was putting a lot of stress on her somehow, like,
Yeah.
especially with now that they know I'm using, and the one wreck that they known of, like, she was begging and pleading me just to come to church and stuff with her, like, and I would, for the most part. Like, that was our times. It was just like I was seeing the transformation of her, I was kind of blaming myself for whatever reason, man. And the church she went to was great. They were always there for me. Like, my grandmother also went, and it was our times on Sundays. But it would be like I was doing the same thing my stepfather was doing. I was being like the angel, doing no wrong. Like, I was doing the mask there. I was going in there acting like nothing was wrong. I was just playing that card for that time. As soon as church was over, be right back, And it was, again, when I said 2014, that was the year my stepfather ended up passing. And it wasn't long after us getting together working all the time. That was another, like, that was the main thing that I was, I guess, battled, was just all this loss. I didn't know how to maintain my feelings or deal with it the right way.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was actually Thanksgiving Day when he was deer hunting. He passed away. And it wasn't too long after that. That's when I really spiraled downhill. January of 15, ended up going to prison, man. I caught these 2 charges, and I caught the one first. Is there anything you wanted to chime in, or anything, or a question or anything, Malik, before I get on to this side of the story?
No. I'm just listening. I'm just listening to everything you're saying, just taking it all
I
in.
know it's kind of a long, drag out story, man, but it all comes together, I promise.
No, go
Uh,
ahead. Go ahead.
well, as I said, Thanksgiving Day, he passes, January 15th. Well, before January 15th, I ended up moving in with my mother after he passed, and I was helping her. I was doing everything that I could until it's probably a week after he got put in the ground. It was in his will. She had to move out, like, all of a sudden. Like, he didn't even put her in the will, and his brother ended up getting the house, so she just had to move. Again, I still had my substance abuse issues. I'm doing everything under the sun. I'm pretty much a trash can user at this time. Anything I could do, I'm doing. So he has all this stuff, right? Like, he was retired for years. He had like 3 different sheds of just stuff. So I asked her, I was like, well, since, like, it's weird that the property wise ain't in your name, but like the all this stuff is, even like the hunting stuff, like, went to my brother and this and that. Like, I got all the fishing stuff. Uh, there's 3 different sheds. So I'm just like, I'm gonna I'm going to take some of this stuff and sell it, and you can just stack up. I'll do it for you, because she's not getting out and about much. I'm using her vehicle. I split it down the middle with her, to be honest. I was like, here, this is for this. Now, the stuff that I kept obviously went to substance and alcohol. That was, but it was making me way worse. Now, the thing is, it was only supposed to be one shed, man.
Yeah.
And I took it in my hands to doing like all the sheds and everything. And that's when the 15th I caught the grand larceny. Ended up selling to a guy, but actually behind it was behind this police station in Alderson, and tools were hot. The tools wasn't mine. It didn't have it in my name, like one of the generators and stuff on these automobiles. It was all this stuff automobile wise that he had. So they called the law and had to call. It was literally a hop, skip, and jump from my mom's house. And again, the fire department and them all knew my stepfather. And yeah, at this point there was no skipping around for me. Like, I thought it was going to be a slap on the wrist, but my mom was like, well, the first shed we supposed to have, well, she comes around the yard and it's all the sheds. And she tried dropping the charges, but the state picked it up. And I ended up going to jail and everything. They hit me with a 1 to 10 for grand larceny. And that sparked off my jail time, man, and prison time. And yeah, it's that was the first charge, and ended up getting out. But I was right back to the races. Like, in there was a whole different mindset and everything for me, Malik. You know, I was still in there I was still maintaining my habit. Crazy as it sounds, I actually got worse in there. Even how I acted, like, because like I go in there, I'm sick and everything, but like I try to, for the most part, always be respectful and a good guy, you know. So I get in there and everyone's liking me. I'm a chameleon at this point. I'm hearing everything out, like finding out how to get things in. I'm just being a sponge for this environment.
Right.
Even with the drinking wise, man. But jail was different than prison. Like, I'm in there just pretty much just doing time and still maintaining a habit. Now, not every day, but it was a good part out of the months. It was probably only like a month in between, but I was still the will or way kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was still having no consequence. I could call grandma. She's sending me money. I could call this person. They're sending me money. Being the manipulation still, you know?
So you're basically just on vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I was actually about to say. Like, it was nothing for me. Like, I was on. And one morning I get called out and end up going to prison. I end up going, believe it or not, like, I went to a max. Like, for a 1 to 10, I went to a max. Like, they send me to Huttonsville. But granted, everything that I did in jail, it was a vacation, but there was a few things I got in trouble for in there. So it was write-ups. And I ended up going to a max prison, man. And Huttonsville was the first time around. I remember pulling in there. I'm like, oh, man, I really did it this time. Now I'm starting to second guess myself. I'm like, man, I didn't go to Printingtown or anything like that, not no level 1 facility.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, man. Not gonna lie to you, I was nervous, man. Because it's way different now. At this point, this is 2015. And they classify me. About to be 19 years old, so that ups my classification. I didn't know how this worked. I thought it was just going to be, I was told the whole time in jail that, like, hey, it's my first offense. Before you get sentenced, just try to get a suspended sentence, like day report, right? Well, back in the day, I already had day report. They weren't having that, so that's boom. I end up getting sentenced to prison. Uh, there was no other sentencing for me, but I didn't know how that was going to turn out, man. If I would have known how, like, I wouldn't have been doing all the crazy stuff in jail if I knew how this classification stuff worked.
Right, right.
And end up going to a gang dorm in prison, and that's kind of when I was mentally at my worst at first, man. Because again, it was gravy train for me until I came into this place, and then the drugs was still outrageous up there, running rapid. Everything just it was just different for me mentally. Like I just had to be a whole complete different person. Like I pretty much broke down and rebuilt myself in there again. I was pretty much like a chameleon until I couldn't fake it no more. There was actually, well, I'll just say it. It was a war zone up there. Everything was segregated. Now I never broke that with myself because I ended up getting with a group of guys. There wasn't really a thing with races with us. It was, and it was, yeah, it was just wild, Malik. There was consequences if people didn't do something. Like if I didn't do something, like I was pretty much having to do stuff that I really regret now, but at the time I didn't have no feeling for.
So while in prison, do you think that you kind of had time to really look at yourself and be like, hey, this has got to stop? You needed to slow down, or did you just continue doing, the same that you was doing in jail?
I wanted to so bad, but I couldn't. Believe it or how it sounds, there's a million faces on me in there from all 55 counties. So in my mind, I couldn't have that moment. I couldn't even have that moment of just fright or tears. Because when I made that, it was one of the decisions that I made that it was, there's actually a consequence now, if that sounds like, and it wasn't even to do with substances. It was,
Did you feel threatened?
no, absolutely not. It's just I'm thinking of how to word it all. Just it was just a big time for me, man. Like the things I had to do to people, man. And to answer your question, it was just no time for me to think at. I had to put another one of them masks on out of the 1,000 masks that I have to wear to cover everything up. Like it was just couldn't feel nothing. So again, yeah.
So you just spent a lot of time, a few years, just not being you, pretty much, not being comfortable enough to be you, because you just found yourself. Was it because you found yourself in different situations where you just had to put on the mask to match the situations that you were in?
Yeah, that's definitely what it was, man. Now it's weird of me saying it now, like, but I could say it now. It's pretty much like I guess you could say like an act, because like if I didn't do something, like it was going to be, I knew like it could get done to me or it will get done to me. Like that whole environment was way different than I was used to. You know, seeing someone get uh, hit with a lock, for instance, or just stabbed, Swiss cheesed right next to you for saying the wrong thing, for setting at the wrong TV, for just oh well, if you wanted to get high and you didn't have the debt for it, you just weaseled your own thing, but you still had a debt. Like, it was crazy. Over a honey bun, you would get that, you know. And a honey bun at that time was 33 cents, and an orange day soda was 33 cents on commissary. Now it's like $1.90, but then it was 33 cents, and someone's getting dealt with like that. Like, it was crazy for me. And every time there was substance that hit at the prison, again, that's what I wanted to do. Anything that I could get outside myself. Again, I was wearing a mask, but at the same time, I wanted to escape still. I wanted to escape out of there. So if there was hooch to be made or hooch getting made, I wanted in on it. Boom, right? But you could just tell, like, even me, I thought I was getting out of there, right? To go still use the substance. Like, all right, I'm going to escape this place for a little bit. No, that's when it was the worst time. And
Yeah.
and again, that's my insanity talking again. Like, I thought it was going to be better. Obviously not. But I would still go right back to it. That next week, if it was coming through the mail, I'm going to be right there doing it again. Maybe this time, just maybe this time the day will be a little bit better, and I don't have to wear my shoes out here in the day room, tied up, watching everything, because it would be like everyone was against the walls. Like, it was no poker time or no watching the game to have fun. It was just like everyone was backs against the wall. And I'm still being right there, still, you know.
So when did you finally come to terms of, you know, you're tired of wearing all these masks. You're tired of, just going through the motions. You're tired of seeing people that you love just die around you, and all you're doing is just self-medicating, trying to numb the pain. But when was the time when you actually, looked at yourself in the mirror and was like, I can't continue on like this?
All right, so I get out of prison. I just looked at the time. I'm going to shorten it up a little bit. Get out of prison. Go right back to my grandmother's. I get to parole there. End up catching a charge. I go back. I still didn't have my I still didn't have my eye opener. Ended up doing 10 years altogether with all my prison sentences. The next charge was a little bit more seriouser, but I'm going to get to answer your question. So I get out of prison 2 years ago, and I thought I was going to do the same route. I'm going to get to go back to my grandmother's.
Yeah.
No, at this point, she had it all, man. So I'm going to try the detox route, because as soon as I got out of prison and got told no from my grandmother, I just started ripping and running the roads again. So I end up going to all these detoxes. I've been to every detox, mental facility, sober living house. I've been to all of them except 2 of the sober living house programs in West Virginia. And that's pretty embarrassing to say. But this last run, after my mother died and everything, I ended up going to Charleston at Highlands. And it was actually my sponsee's wife that I even knew throughout years back. She helped me out, man. I was run ragged, mentally and physically tired. She gets me in there. I end up getting out of there and going to Ripley Breath of Life Church. And ended up getting saved, man. And I still remember it. I came out speaking tongues for the first time. I felt lighter. Uh, I felt so light, man. All the burdens just lifting off of me. And that was my eye opener. I got into the book more. I got into AA also. And again, it was at that point, and then I was like, I know what I have to do. I have to go to a sober living. I have to work a program. I'm gonna have to put the work in. Like I can't just keep getting by doing it my way.
Yeah.
Like, it my way. You see where it gets me at. It gets me in prison, and I'm not trying to die yet. That's the main thing. That's what I kept in my mind. I'm not trying to die, man.
Yeah.
From
Absolutely.
and I want to have a life. And the first thing when I came to this sober living, it was up here in Parkersburg. And again, I had to put the time in. I seen all these relationships building. I didn't have to lie no more. I could have been me. I didn't have to wear a mask. I pretty much threw them in the trash. And I could just be me. Now, did it feel weird for me? Absolutely. But at the same time, I knew I'm not lying. If this person's right here beside me and that I'm talking to, and I don't have to manipulate them or use them, and they're actually there for me, caring, that was the best feeling in the world. I'm truly not affecting them in any way. They're just there helping me, like my sponsee. You know, I didn't have to give him money or anything like that, and he didn't have to give me money or anything. It was just a mutual bonding of him showing me.
Right. Right.
And the promises in the AA book, that was later on to me. Them promises are real. And I work at a great employer right now. That was a great group of guys. They gave me a chance. A few people was sketchy about it, but I didn't feel any type of way about that. I was like, well, I'm gonna just show myself. I'm gonna just be me. And thank God that they just I'm very grateful for them. And
How did that, that moment of, I know you just said you could just be you. How did that actually feel after so many years of just, masking, wearing mask after mask after mask after mask? But how did it finally feel to finally say, I don't have to be this person to fit in or be this person to hide, the pain that I'm feeling? How did it feel to just be free from all of that?
oh, I felt like I was on cloud nine without a substance.
So I'm sure that was a great feeling. you
Yeah,
know, you
absolutely.
know, not having to be high to be on a high. you know,
Yeah, yeah.
that, I'm sure that's a great feeling, especially, going to the altar or, just being in church and feeling burdens being lifted off of you, after not having the chance to express your emotions. you know, you just get to lay it all out, get to cry or scream, whatever you had to do, and then to just feel that lifted off and just lighter and finally say, this is me. This is who I've always wanted to be. But I've always had to be somebody else or I had to suppress feelings and emotions just to get through life. But so how long have you've been clean after going and finding God and all that? How long have you been clean?
I've been clean 14 months now.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that's off of everything, man. That's off of the Suboxone, alcohol and everything, man. And again, I just feel way better, like you said, where I can just be myself, man.
Yeah.
Uh, just very grateful for it. Now, I'm still a work in progress too. I still maintain an AA, church, all that. And
Do you ever, I know a lot of people say they don't, I mean, but you could be different, but do you ever get those feelings of, man, I just want to go back to what I used to do?
there've been little spurts, man. Sometimes if I get angry or there's just little spurts, man. But I put that in the back of my head. I know where I came from. I'm not trying to go back to that at all. People's reached out. I've uh, talked to a few people. I've seen people, but that old Cam's gone. That old Cam's down the road. This ain't him. I actually got the courage now to have a backbone to say that. Before I didn't. Before I
Yeah.
would just break instantly, or I would just go off my emotions. Uh, I take that split moment now, man. Uh,
You do have a couple people actually writing in. Let's see. Let's see. I don't want to mess anybody's name up. Darcy.
yeah,
Darcy McCraw, I believe. She said, "So proud of this young man. His sobriety has been hard earned, and he deserves life. He deserves the life he's building now." Jerry Tryon said, "God has a plan for you, Cam. So proud of you." Timothy Rodnow, I actually work with him. Um, he said, "This is great. Glad to see you doing well, man." Ashley, I think I'm going to mess up her last name. Fury.
yeah.
Sure. Okay. So proud of you, Cam. Keep shining. Love you. Matt Sawyers. I work with Matt as well. I'm proud of you, Cam. So many opportunities now, and it makes me happy seeing you break free. Freedom from everything. So a couple people have commented. So when you get those times where you're angry, how do you cope with your anger now?
Again, I take that split second, man, and I just put my mind to something else. Uh, I got this little daily devotional, man. I got to dive into it. Just I actually believe it. That's how I start my days too, and it has a even throughout the day. It has a little thing that I can dive deep more in on the reading. Like it's actually a whole day. The readings for the morning, then the evenings on the side and everything throughout, and then by the nighttime before you go to bed, you do your prayer, and then what the writing means to you. There's even snippets in the back, like for the anger. There's like 20 different mechanisms in there for what to do and everything. I've been diving into it, believe it or not, and it's helped me. How long have we had that, babe? Like 3 months, 4 months. It's like, yeah, about 3 months, and I've just been strictly on it.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
my wife, she helps me out a lot, man. She actually works in recovery. She's been clean now for 2 years. Um, she's a big one that helps me. If she's not here throughout the day because we work different shifts, I'll reach out to her and the step kids that I have now with her. I reach out to them get to do something. You know, I just put my mind somewhere completely else. If I ever have that worry or dark time, I know I can call my sponsor. I even reach out. I sponsor, so I can get my sponsees to go do something. You know, because
Yeah.
that at the same time it'll help them. Even though I'm needing them, like I'm supposed to be leading, right? So I'll just go to do something to, to get me completely out of that moment. Whatever I have to do, I do it, man.
So did you ever think that you would get to where you're at right now?
Honest answer.
Honest answer, yes.
No, I didn't think I'd live past my last uh my last relapse. I didn't think I was gonna make it. I was actually uh my one cousin that actually commented, her sister's husband. I'm very grateful for that man. Uh at a drop of a hat, he was there for me, man. And I just didn't think I just didn't think I was gonna make it after that last run, man. And but hey, I'm here today. At the grace of God, I'm here. And
Amen to that.
yeah,
So
that's who I have to be very, very grateful for. He got me as a new man today, you know.
Amen. So a question that I have, since you've been sober, is there anything that you regret? Because all that you've been through, is a part of your story, is a part of your testimony. But is there anything, if you could go back and change anything, what would it be?
Um, Probably just one thing, man. Just I wish I wouldn't have talked to my mother or my grandmother like I did them few times. Even though it's words, them words bring impact. And
Yeah,
there was a few things I just wish I never said, or that I could have said, because that during me in that time of my life, that wasn't me. Like that wasn't the real me. And but everything else, like I don't think I can regret it because that made me who I am today. I mean, I know it took me a million times to get the picture, to get the big picture,
yeah.
but I don't think I can change that. Like, I mean, I wish I deep down, I wish I could. Like, I wish I didn't do all these substance. I wish I didn't have this disease of addiction in me. But I mean, that's how the good Lord made me. And He put me on this path, man, to, I mean, it was a hard path. I had to tie my boots up and go, but I don't think I can take it back because it made me who I am, man. Like I was, yeah, I'll just end on that, Malik.
So if you had a chance to, talk to somebody that is currently in addiction, or at the age that you started your addiction, what would be the words that you would say to them, to try to steer them back on the right path?
Um, well, at first I would tell them just to be, ask them what they like doing, and I'd get their minds going to something else, get into a more of a hobby, to get completely um time for their self, man. Like so they can be happy with themselves, you know. Um, because the lifestyle ain't gonna have nothing for them. Like with my story, there's only pretty much a few things that's gonna happen. You know, you're gonna be in prison, broke, or you're just gonna be dead, man. Like it's just gonna be it's an ongoing cycle. I would just tell them that, like the friends you might have right now probably ain't your friends. Uh, love your loved ones more. Get it, find yourself into something like a hobby or what they love doing. Get back into that. Keep your mind on the right instead of the left. You know, uh, look yourself in the mirror, man. Like be happy, smile a little more through the day. Like don't that substance ain't gonna have nothing for you. That's what I'd tell them. I'd keep coming back to them too. Like I said, if I know someone's struggling here in town, I go to the sober livings all the time. I give back. I try to give back to the community as much as I can. The homeless shelters, I just try to give back, man. That's how I do with this. That's why I reached out to you because my buddy was on here. Uh, and I was like, well, I've been sharing more in the AA and stuff. Uh, so I was like, I had a podcast a few months ago that I ended up getting on. I didn't end up getting on it. I worked. And I was like, well, maybe this is my get back. Uh, you always had good reviews, man. So I was like, maybe this is my turn to get back. Even though I got a little bit nervous at the beginning, man. I was like, I don't know why. I don't know what went over me. I prayed before I did this and everything, and I don't know. I froze up for something. I think I was thinking too much or something. But
What? But you all, you got it all together, and I
yeah,
and I, and I feel whatever you needed to say tonight. I think that you got. I think you got out what you needed to get out. Um, I do feel, there's more to your story. There's definitely more to your story that you didn't even share tonight. And I don't want to hold you long. Um, but I do want to before I even, get to all that, thank you for coming on. But is there anything else you want to share, before we do get off of here?
No, I don't think I do. Just thank everyone for watching, Malik. Thank you for having me on here. And I thank God for another day, man.
Amen. Amen. So I thank you for actually reaching out to me. And like I said, I usually don't let people come. If they reach out to me, I usually don't let them come on, because I honestly pray about, who I have on, because some people just get on just because they just want to be on, and everybody, they just want people to see them, and they don't really have no
Mhm.
story,
Yeah.
That's why I usually ask. But it was just something about you reaching out, and then I talked to Matt, about you, and he helped me, had great things to say about you as well. So I'm honored, that you even reached out, and then we could, get these dates together, and we could get you on. And I'm glad that you finished out my series, of Struggle to Salvation. I may bring it back. I don't know yet, but there's time. But I love your story. I love, that you chose life, instead of addiction. And I'm glad that you're continuing on, your road to recovery, because I know every day, I don't want to say it's a battle, but every day is just, there's something else every day. You never know what may come your way. Like you said, anger or, sadness, but you choose the right path. So I'm grateful, that you're an example for others, for people to look at you and to see that there is hope. There is a second chance at life. Um, and just keep telling your story. I'm sure there'll be more opportunities coming your way. But again, I thank you for coming on tonight. I thank you for sharing with us all. I thank you for the people that came on tonight. And if you catch the replay, comment. Don't be afraid to share. This will be posted later on not Facebook, but later on YouTube. So you can watch the replay, because Facebook is weird. It deletes videos after 30 days or something like that. So I will be posting on YouTube. But again, thank you for coming on, Cameron. And I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and a great rest of your night. And I
Absolutely,
hope to
brother.
talk to
You
you
too.
soon.
Thank
Thank
you,
you
brother.
again. Thank you. So that concludes our series on Struggle to Salvation. Um, Next month, we will be celebrating the month of love. So we have some great couples coming on. And I'm hoping everybody can tune into that. I think we have 4 podcasts set for next month. So I won't be doing any more this month. So hopefully I will see you all then. And then the next month after that. So we've got some things set up. We've got some things coming. I do want to shout out a few people. Thank you, my friend Lenora, for being on. Matt, D, let's see, Ashley, Tim, Jerry. Let me see. I'm trying to shout you people out. Darcy, thank you for Teddy being on. Chima for being on. Let's see. Prophetess Robin Sherrod, Jermaine, just everybody that got on tonight. I thank you for being on. I thank you for your continued support. Um, and I look forward to seeing you all again on my next broadcast, my next podcast next weekend. Um, I will be interviewing Angel and Kiana. So I hope you all tune into that. Um, and we're about to get off of here. So again, thank you all, and I hope you all have a good night.